Welcome in everybody to the Prize Picks Prop Show. It's just me, monotone football today. You don't got two beautiful faces to stare at. You're just stuck with me. Mr. Govier is away doing some, fantasy baseball business. So it's just me today. Going to be a little bit of a shorter show. Before we get into anything else, let's make sure to deposit in Prize Picks with code FTN. Prize Picks, one of my favorite apps. We go over it every single week. But I'm going to tell you guys again, because there is not a single service out there that is giving you guys lines on these type of players we're getting. I mean, North Texas, Old Dominion, all these crazy schools. You can bet on their third string wide receiver if you want to. And I don't really know many other places that kind of give you that luxury. So before we get any farther, you guys want to make sure to deposit into Prize Picks. Code FTN. They'll deposit match you up to $100. They'll match exactly what you put in right there. It's a nice, easy way to get some money going. Also, if you want more than just my picks, right? Because FTN, we've got a lot of smart people over here, a lot of people giving away plays. Make sure to check out the FTN Prize Picks tool, right? So many people are giving away their free plays out there. It's in the description. You can see mine, Michael, and everyone else on the team. You can see their Prize Picks plays in the pick tracker for free. So make sure to head over there before we get into my plays. But I do have two great Prize Picks plays for you guys again this week. We're going to start out a familiar face, Kendre Miller, somebody that did us good last week. He cashed his rushing yards. This week, I'm deciding to pivot a little bit. I'm going over to his fantasy score. I'm going over 19.5 for his fantasy score. And what that does, right, is it gives us multiple options. We don't just have to bet on his rushing yards. We don't just have to bet on touchdown. We don't have to bet on receiving yards. We get everything all in one as a package. Last week, we hit his rushing yards in the high 90s, right? It ended up actually pushing up after this show. I know a lot of you guys got in on this bet. It ended up over 100. I was hoping we'd get it in the high 90s again, but PrizePicks wasn't going to let that happen. They opened up his rushing yards at 107, which is a very fair number, I think. But now I like kind of taking advantage of this and getting the whole package. When we look at his end zone success this season, he has 11 touchdowns. He has a touchdown in every single game this year. Not too many guys in the nation you can say that about. Additionally, when you look at it, he has 2 touchdowns in 3 of his last 5 games coming in, right? This is a guy, if he scores 2 touchdowns, we're winning this bet no matter how inefficient he is on the ground. He could have his worst rushing game of the season, but if he gets there 2 times, like he has in 3 of the last 5 weeks, then I would say we're pretty safe right here. Additionally, he's no slouch on the ground. Started out this season, 50 rushing yards, 52 rushing yards. They were kind of keeping him in track. They were playing some lesser opponents. They didn't really need to open up the playbook. Ever since then, this guy has absolutely exploded, averaging well over 130 rushing yards over his last 6 games. And even on the season, averaging over 100 rush yards despite those back-to-back 50 rush yard games. Love Miller. I like fading TCU. I really do. This isn't a team that I love to bet on. And when I was fading them, Miller was crushing me every single week. So now we get to be on board with the guy with 6.4 yards per carry this season, top 3 in yards after contact. Absolutely love Miller this week. So locking that one in. Next up, we're going over to the game of the week this week. Georgia, Tennessee. Everyone's going to be watching 2 of the best teams in the nation. Even a possible, spoiler, this could be a finals consideration game right here. So we get a little bit of an early preview. I'm going to the quarterback, Stetson Bennett. We're going over 295 passing yards. I know this is not the flashiest play in the world. It's hard. I was sitting here probably 20 minutes before the show deciding, who do I want to target on this Georgia team? Is it going to be Brock Bowers? Is it going to be the wide receiving core? Is it going to be the running backs? But the more and more I thought about it, the more I really just want to fade this Tennessee passing defense, right? The thing is, Tennessee's rush defense actually has been pretty good this season, right? I was a little skeptical on paper, but they've shown now week after week that they are a legit rushing defense. The pass defense, on the other hand, is much more exploitable, right? We've seen this in all the SEC teams they faced this season. They went well over 300 passing yards. Richardson had his best passing game of his career. We all know Bryce went for over 450 passing yards. When Georgia actually plays these close games against good teams, that kind of thing happens right here. I see Benson over 300 passing yards fairly easily in this one. Like I said, I was deciding between the targets right here, but we know this Tennessee defense isn't great. Here's the thing. Benson's game log, it may not look that great, right? He's averaging around 270, 280 passing yards a game. That's 20 yards under this number. Why is that? They blow out every team they faced this season. They played one ranked team this year. It was Oregon. They absolutely destroyed them, and he went well over this number. The thing is, when you don't have to throw the ball in the second half of games, you're not actually going to accumulate those passing yards like you would if you're in a close competitive game. We've seen Tennessee, that offense, they can stick with the best in the nation right there. And while Georgia is the toughest defense they face this year, I think we get a competitive game. I think that means Georgia has to throw the ball. And where Georgia's going to want to attack this team is that Tennessee pass defense. So I'm not saying I'm the biggest Bennett fan in the world. You know, he's a solid game managing quarterback with some upside that shows at time. I honestly wanted those rushing yards too. If they put up a passing plus rushing, it's only 8 or 9 rushing yards, but I do like that one scramble, right? We get to take advantage of that one opportunity. Overall, high scoring games, both of them right here. I think we target 2 great players and great offenses. So I'll go over one more time. We're going Stetson Bennett over 295 passing yards, and we're going over to Kendre Miller over 19.5 fantasy score. My 2 favorite props of the week. Like I said, there'll be much more in that prop tracker that'll be down in the description. Additionally, make sure to sign up with code FTN over at PrizePicks so you can tail. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys are already over there, right? We've been doing this show for a little bit, but I'm excited to keep building, keep getting these wins in. So code FTN over at PrizePicks, $100 deposit match. I appreciate you guys checking out this video with me. I'm excited to have Michael back here do the heavy lifting for me next week because, you know, I don't think anyone wants to watch me talk this much for 6 minutes straight anymore. But I hope we win these bets, and I hope to see you guys again next week in a little bit of a better mood with the whole crew. So appreciate you guys checking out these picks, and I'll see you next week.